Hey everybody, Why So Wiki here. In this video we're going to go through the new console 5.2 patch note update, what's coming new, what the changes and when's it happening. So on the 19th Central Time tomorrow, in European time, 3 AM until the maintenance ends, is going to be added to the PTS so we can test it out, which is great. And then the live maintenance schedule is scheduled for 26th 9 AM till 3 PM European time. And then they do just have a little footnote though saying those changes could change, so just bear with them. And then in the patch note itself, they're adding the new system called PUBG Labs, which I did a video on the other day, which I'll tag at the top now, which will go through exactly what PUBG Labs is. But just a quick refresh. So what's going to be the first thing in the labs is going to be the skill-based matchmaking, which is starting on the live servers on 26th and running until January the 6th. At which point they'll have collected enough data to decide if it could be implemented there or it needs changing at all. Gameplay, they've added a new item, the spike trap, and they make a little joke, they almost called it Buffy. Spike traps puncture the tyres of any vehicle that runs over the strip of spikes. A spike trap can only damage one vehicle before it disappears. Spike traps puncture the tyres of vehicles but do no damage overall to the vehicle health. Spike traps are spawned at rates consistent with overthrowables across the maps. You can lay a spike trap by selecting it and pressing basically the same as a grenade. Next thing that they've adjusted is the swimming and diving balance. So swimming speed has been increased by about 27%. So this is going to be good for all those times you can't find a vehicle and you have to cross the military island on Erangel. Diving speed has been increased by about 20%. Breath recovery speed has increased by about 10%. Now takes 9 seconds for full recovery. The maximum diving time has increased by about 33%. So you can be underwater longer, but it takes longer to recover. Then next, they've added a new feature to the weapon mastery. So you can now filter it, which is good. So it means you can view your top ones easier, which I've always thought you should be able to do, instead of having to scroll all the way through them. Hopefully there's the filter for viewing the ones that have just ranked up, so it's easier again. And then the next thing, they've updated the Vikendi map. So they've made these changes to make it more appealing for the sniper battles that happen on Vikendi. I mean, classic Vikendi in the last 10 people alive, everybody in the dog's got a sniper, and it's fun because it's just completely different to the other maps in terms of the end game. It's more about sniping than necessarily assault rifle play. And then it just says there, we love a good sniper duel. With that in mind, we've done a clean-up of Vikendi to make it more appealing to the long gun hunters in the midst. More vehicles will be appearing on the map to help you lead-foot it through the winter waste, but on the lookout for spike traps, blah blah blah. So basically what they've done, they've added new roads across some of the places that were sparser roads. They've added more vehicle spawns, so it's going to be easier to get to the ring. And then they've also frozen over the water around Castle and added new obstacles so that it's easier to get across, and it promotes more sniper play here opposed to swimming, and you can't really see them because the water paints are black. They've also changed Mount Kresnik. They've lowered the height and the steepness of it to make it again better. And then they also changed the city as well. Improved the times of Vikendi. Volnova. Volnova is currently such a terrible place to land because half the buildings you can't even go in, and the ones you can are just so stupidly annoying. Every time we land there in squads, we absolutely hate it. You can't tell where's been looted. So I'm so glad that they're redoing this. Item spawn point in Peshkova have increased, and garages where vehicles spawn in Trevnov have now relocated to right. Okay, so basically they've moved the garages so you can get out easier. Improved gameplay. Blue zone's been adjusted. The size of the early safe zone has increased. The safe zone has become wider, but will speed off early blue zones has increased. The size of the speed of, so basically they've just improved the blue zone and the size of the rings to promote more fun play. And then they've made a control improvement. So this is something that has bugged me for a while. So basically when you slide down, say, a slope, it puts you out of ADS, and then when you stop sliding, it doesn't automatically go back in. you have to untake your finger off it and then put it on again, which a lot of the time in the heat of a gunfight it just doesn't happen. You end up getting killed by it. And it's sometimes you're moving and you like trip over like what seems to be like a pebble on the floor, and it zooms you out and then you're screwed. Whereas now, what it'll automatically do is if you slide down a ridge and then you stop at the bottom, it'll automatically zoom back in for you, so you're back in the fight. So hopefully this works well. They've also improved the vehicle control on Type C, and then in the future they'll be looking at improving the key binding system so that it's more effective with various controllers. They've improved the UI, although the images currently aren't working here, but they've basically add different tabs to make it easier. They've added a difference between BP and G coin items, so you can easily see what you want to spend. You can now buy items using different coupons earned from various rewards from the coupon shop, which is good. Add-ons is now incorporating the G coin, and then they're adding some new items. So 1 G coin Battlestat Mark 47 Mutant, 2 other Battlestat weapons, an MP5 and a QBZ. They've added a Madzi belt, which is going to be cool. Another pair of Madzi shoes, and then a new crate, which is a BP, and it's called the Venetian crate with 17 new gun skins. It's been so long since they added a battle point crate into the game, it's been ridiculous. And I think currently on console the only one is the Raider crate. So hopefully once you've gone through getting these kind of things for the battle points, you've got something to spend it on. And they've made impact sounds for the gunshots, so when a gunshot hits something, depending on the surface type and the material, it'll make a different sound, and that's just going to eventually, once we get used to it, make it that much easier for locating where the gunshots have come from. They've done some custom match stuff, and then bug fixes basically, and that's it. So just to recap, that one's coming to the live servers on November the 26th, but will be added to the PTS tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider liking and subscribing.